Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. I am warbossfitz, and today we are going to be doing a little bit of solo play using Grimdark Future Warfleets. It is going to be the Dark Elf Raiders versus the Human Defense Force. Let's check out our fleets. In the Dark Elf Raider fleet, we have a clan heavy ship with the Ex-Nihilo title, Predatory Instinct rule, Raid Master special rule. It's rocking a wormhole door, fury inhibitor, and shield boost. Its weapons include its turret, a reality overlay in the front facing, and forked punishments coming out the flanks. We have two pack medium ships, again with predatory instinct. They have the Shadow Walker special rule, wormhole door system, reality overlays out the flanks, and forked punishment out the front. Then we have three circle light ships, again with Shadow Walker rule, pulse engine systems, and erosion missiles in their front hardpoint. Capping it all off, that tiny little squadron is a Raider squadron that has raiding barge. So it's going to be giving out some boarding tokens. In our Human Defense Force fleet today, we have one Centurion heavy ship armed with missile banks and a sun finger. Running the Risk Hero Doctrine, it has telemetry banks and targeting arrays. Then we have a Praetorian heavy ship, armed with missile banks, vector cannons, profile gun, and rapid cannons. It has a hero on board with the Obliteration Master rule, and it comes with a targeting array system. Then we have three Legionary ships. These are line vessels, so all of the weapons fire out of the side. All three of them are armed with missile banks. And with the line vessel special rule, they are going to get twin fire out of both sides of the ship. They are also running the targeting array and telemetry banks system. Then we've got two Vulpes light ships running vector cannons and arc generators out of their front facing, and a Senator light ship with nothing but telemetry banks. So let's check out the board. Our board today has 5 objectives on it. Of course, I rolled the maximum number of possible objectives. The main terrain features are going to be a planetoid all the way on the left flank, a asteroid field running down the middle, and a bunch of piles of space junk giving opportunities for the ships to hide. Now, it is possible to move through the asteroid field and all the space junk, but there is a possibility of taking damage when you do it. So with all that explained, let's go ahead and roll to see who is going to go first. We've got the Human Defense Force is going to get a 1, and then the Dark Elves are going to get a 6. Is that a preview of what the future holds? We'll have to see. Back after deployment. So for deployment, the Human Defense Force have set their heavy ships inside the asteroid ring with a couple of light ships for support, and on the outside of the ring, all three of the mediums think they can handle what's going on over there. For the Dark Elf Raiders, inside the asteroid ring, we got 2 of the light ships and 1 of the mediums trying to find a way to stay out of line of sight so they don't get instantly destroyed by the heavy guns. They might have themselves an uphill battle. And on the outside of the ring, we have a light, a medium, and the squadron trying to stay outside of line of sight, hiding behind all the space junk. And then over in the corner, we have the heavy Dark Elf ship using the Ex-Nihilo ability to not deploy on the board. It's going to ambush on turn number 2. So now, time for a fight! Round 1. Starting at the top of the turn order, we have the Dark Elves, and they are going to move their squadrons first. They have to have 1 squadron, so it's going to move, ending up right behind the lead piece of space junk. So now we go on to the light ship phase. This is where the activation order starts all over again. The Dark Elves are going to get to go first. Plus, with the Predatory Instinct on their medium ships, it allows them to activate 1 phase ahead of time. So the medium ships are going to activate in the light ship phase. So we're going to start off with a circle ship heading over towards the planet to hopefully get out of line of sight. Not this turn, though. Time for the Human Defense Force to activate. We're going to activate the Vulpes ship over there hanging out with the big boy. It is going to do a move action, moving itself to there, and now it's going to open fire on that circle ship. So to hit the enemy target, we have to roll better than its evasion value. Evasion on the circle ship is a 4 up. And the Vulpes ship is about 13 inches away. So the only thing in range is its vector cannon. 1 attack, strength 3, and deadly. So we are looking for a 4 to hit. And it's a miss. That is a real powerful shot. If it had hit, it would have ripped half of the systems off of that light ship. But it didn't. Moving on. Might as well keep the fun going on this flank. Now we're going to activate the pack ship. Even though it is a medium ship, its predatory instinct allows it to activate with the light ships. So it's going to bust a move, ending up there. Now that it has moved forward, it has forked punishment guns on the front, which is a range of 24, overheating, and twin fire. Twin fire means it gets to shoot 2 separate targets, and both of our targets happen to be within 24 inches. The big one is the Centurion ship, and it is going to get a little bit of cover from the space junk in the way. But let's see what happens. Firing at the Centurion ship, it is a large target, not very maneuverable, hits on a 2. There's a hit. So now we have to roll against the toughness. On the big ship, it's a 2. The space junk gives it a +1. And the strength of the gun is a 3. So it's going to be 1 minus 3 up to a 4. Fails. We put a point of damage on the Centurion ship. And it is going to take a hit to its telemetry banks. Now for the Vulpes ship, hits on a 4. That's a miss. Next to the Human Defense Force, the Vulpes ship is going to move, putting itself right there within range to fire at that circle ship. Same as before, looking for a 4 to hit. No. Next to activate will be that circle ship, burying itself in the junk. Next to activate and last light ship for the Human Defense Force is the Senator ship. First, it is going to use its telemetry banks on the Praetorian ship right next to it, allowing a friendly ship within 12 inches a 45-degree move. Now the Senator ship on its own is going to move and start hanging out with some junk. Got a few more activations on the Dark Elf side. Our last circle ship is going to move, burying itself in the junk. And final light ship, actually final ship for the Dark Elves, is going to be the pack ship. It's going to move forward, burying itself into the covered junk, and then it's going to fire at those 2 outside ships from the Human Defense Force. So Legionary ships have an evasion of 3. We're going to fire at the one on the outside first. That's a miss. And the one in the middle, that's also a miss, but this weapon also has overheating. So not only did the pack ship not hit, it actually hurt itself. And because of the narrative, we'll go ahead and put that right on the forked punishment gun. So next we move into the medium ship category, and the Human Defense Force is the only one that has them. All 3 of those Legionary ships are mediums. So we're going to go ahead and move all 3 of those at the same time. So that is where they are going to end their movement. Now normally we would do these one at a time, but it's my channel. I do what I want. Now they're going to be doing some shooting. Because they are line vessels, it gives their broadside weapons twin fire. They just happen to have missile banks, which are broadside weapons, so they get twin fire with an 18-inch range. The angles kind of dictate who we can shoot at here. The Legionary vessel that is closest to the board edge, it is going to fire first. It is in range to fire at both the pack ship and the circle ship, so it's going to fire at those. First at the pack ship, needing a 3 to hit. We got 2 hits there. Strength is 0. The toughness of the pack ship is a 3, but he is in that junk, giving it a +1. So toughness is going to be a 2. It's good. Twin fire volley into the circle ship, now on a 4. 1 hit. And then toughness goes from a 4 to a 3. Ooh, it is going to take a hit. It will take that on its pulse engine. The middle ship in the line, the way the angles worked out, it is not able to shoot the pack ship. So it's going to fire first at the circle ship on a 4. We got 2 misses. The only other target that it can fire at is the Raider Squadron, so we're going to shoot at that, hitting on a 4. 1 hit. Toughness is a 4, going down to a 3 because of cover. It's good. So the ship in the rear there cannot fire at the pack ship or the squadron, so it's going to just get 2 shots at the circle ship. One hit, saving on a 3. It fails, so it is going to take a second hit to its pulse engine. The pulse engine is now disabled. Now on to the big boys. First, we're going to move the Centurion ship. Not quite close enough to pick up the objective, but it is going to fire at that lone circle ship. The Centurion will be firing its sun finger, 30-inch range, 3 shots, strength of 1, and overheating, so hopefully it does not roll a 1. Those are not 1s, it's 3 hits. So there's no cover involved this time, and strength of 1 reduces the toughness down to a 5. Saving on a 5. 2 of those go through, but unfortunately, the Centurion ship has the siege vessel rule, meaning that those shots become deadly, 2 damage apiece. That circle ship only has 4 damage to its name, so boom, 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 boom. We've got our first kill. Kablam. Next to activate is the Praetorian ship. It is also going to move forward, pulling a 45 degree at the end of its move, getting closer to that objective. Now it's going to fire all of its weapons into that circle ship. Oh no. So the Praetorian ship's claim to fame is it can mount 3 weapons in its nose. First, we're going to start off with the profile gun. 2 shots, strength of 1, and it can only be fired at targets that have more active systems than disabled. So in this case, it's firing at that circle ship. It's got no disabled systems. Hitting on a 4. 2 hits. Strength of 1, saving on a 5. No. There goes its pulse engine. Oh, I forgot the cover, but I don't think it would have mattered there. Next, we're going to fire the vector cannon. 1 shot, strength of 3, and deadly. That's a miss. And it is just out of range for the rapid cannon. So that's going to be it for the big ship shooting. So that is the end of turn number 1. Nobody has any objectives yet, but the Dark Elves have lost a ship. Let's see what kind of tomfoolery they can get up to in turn number 2. At the start of turn number 2, our heavy ship for the Dark Elves has showed up using its Ex Nihilo ability and put itself right on the butt of the Praetorian. So that'll be a problem later on in the turn, but for now we move to squadrons. The only squadron on the board is our raiding barge from the Dark Elves. So now it's going to do what it does best. Zipping forward out of the space junk, it darts behind that rear legionary ship, and then, using its raid barge rule, it puts 2 boarding tokens on it. Moving on to the light ship category, the circle ship in that pile of space junk is going to move. Putting it right there. It is going to focus its turrets and its erosion missiles at that legionary ship in the center of the formation. Now, erosion missiles have 1 shot, and they are blast. Blast in Warfleets means they're going to hit everything within 4 inches if they do hit. So it needs a 3 to hit. That's a hit. So now the way the erosion missile works. It's kind of like a dangerous terrain check in Grimdark Future. Instead of rolling to block, models must roll as many dice as points of damage it would take to destroy them, and for each roll of a 1, they take 1 damage. So legionary ships all have 3 hard points that need 2 points of damage apiece to be disabled, meaning they're going to roll 6 dice apiece. The other 2 are within 4 inches of the one in the center, so starting off at the far end towards the board edge, anything but a 1. That one's good. The center. It takes 1 point of damage. It will put it on its targeting array. And then the third. It takes 1 as well. Again, let's put it on the targeting array. Now it's going to take 2 shots with its turret at that center ship, hitting on a 3. 2 hits. Toughness of 3. It's good. Now it's time for the Human Defense Force to move a light ship. They're going to move this Volpez ship forward, and it is going to take that objective. Needing to maneuver to take the objective, that circle ship is outside of its arc of fire in the front, so it's going to put its shots into the pack ship. It's got 1 shot hitting on a 3. That's going to be a hit. Vector cannon is strength of 3 and deadly, so it would be a 6, but because we're in cover, it goes down to a 5. Nope. So that'll be 2 points of damage, finishing off the forked punishment, and it'll put a point of damage on the reality overlay. Next to activate will be the circle ship on the other flank that's hiding in the junk. Making the move to there, it is going to fire its erosion missile at the Praetorian ship and then its turrets at the Senator ship. Firing first at the Praetorian ship, she is a fat body, so hitting on a 2. That's a hit. So it has 10 slots of damage across the ship. We're going to roll 10 dice, and on a 1, it takes a hit. There are 3 ones. Things are close enough. We're going to take out the targeting array and then put a point of damage on the missile banks. Now for the Senator ship, 2 shots on a 4. One of those is going to hit. Toughness is a 4. It's going to save it. Next to activate will be the Senator ship. It is going to bust a 90-degree turn using a move action, putting it inside the space junk and then using its telemetry banks, turning that Centurion ship 45 degrees. The Dark Elf pack ship is going to move, putting itself right there, and we have some interesting things that are going to happen. Welcome to Dark Elf Shenanigans. It's going to fire its Forked Punishment at the 2 ships in front of it, and then the Senator ship to the side is going to get hit with the reality overlay. First, going to fire the twin shot at the Vulpes ship. That's a hit. Strength of 3 goes right to a 6. That's a fail, and it is deadly, so it's going to take 2 points of damage, taking out its arc generator. Next, firing at the Centurion. That is a hit. Toughness 2, strength of 3 goes to a 5 to save. That is a fail, so that will take out its telemetry banks. Now it's going to fire at the Senator ship. These are boarding pods. All I have to do is hit, and it gets boarding tokens. So 4 shots on a 4. It's going to get a 3. Not too shabby with the shooting. We're going to have to see if those 3 boarding pods on only a 2 damage ship feels like a little bit overkill, but we will see. Now it's time for the Vulpes ship to bust a move. Putting itself there, it is now going to fire into that pack ship. This gun has 1 shot, strength of 3, and deadly, hitting on a 3. That's not a 3. And for the final light ship activation, we got the pack ship over here. It's going to move forward and bust a turn, putting itself there. So its Forked Punishment has been blown off. All it's got left is its turret and its reality overlay. First, it's going to fire its reality overlay out of its side at the ship that is closest to the edge of the board, hitting on a 3. 4 boarding tokens. And then it's going to fire its turret at the Legionary in the middle. 2 hits, strength of 1, saving on a 4. Saved them both. Now I can see where the boarding tokens are going to start ramping up. I like it. Moving on to the medium ship category, and Dark Elves have the initiative. Their heavy ship does move like a medium ship, so it is going to activate, putting itself right up the butt of the Praetorian. Time to start some shooting. First off, we're going to use the Forked Punishment out of the side. That's the 1 shot, 24, strength 3, overheating, and twin fire. It's going to fire at the Vulpes ship and the Centurion out there. First off, we're going to aim the Centurion on a 2. That's a hit. Strength of 3, saving on a 5. The Centurion is going to take a point, and it will take it to its targeting array. Next at the Vulpes ship on a 4. That's a hit, saving on a 6. That's a fail, so it's going to go into its vector cannon. Now the clan ship has a reality overlay firing out of the front at the Praetorian on a 2. That's going to be 4 boarding tokens, plus it has a wormhole door ability to put another one on there. These Dark Elves are all up in ya. Moving on to the other medium ships, it is these 3 ships over here. We're going to start the activation with the Far ship. First, we got to test for borders. So we've been putting a lot of boarding markers on. How do you take them off? Well, you roll 1 dice per boarding token. On a 4-up, it goes away, and if you don't get rid of it, puts a point of damage out there. So we got 4 dice to roll. It gets rid of 1, but takes 3 damage. That's going to finish off its targeting array and take out the telemetry banks. So one of the markers goes away, and it is going to move, putting itself there with both the Dark Elf light ships in range. Kind of danger close here. He's going to fire off at the first pack ship, hitting on a 3. It hits. He also hits himself in the process. 3-up save for the pack ship. That's a fail. There goes its reality overlay. And then the legionary ship save. There's a fail. It's going to take a hit to the missile banks. Now firing at the circle ship on a 4. That's a hit. Saving on a 4. That's a save. Time for the next ship in line to move. It moves forward to grab the objective, but it puts that pack ship just out of its arc. So it's going to fire at the circle ship. 1 shot on a 4. That's a miss. Now our last ship is going to move, but it also needs to do the borders. So we're going to move it first and then borders. Now both the enemy ships are in its arc. This ship has been undamaged so far. Let's see if it lasts. Let's test for borders. It's going to get rid of its borders. Then it's going to fire at the circle ship. That's a hit. Saving on a 4. That's a save. And why not shooting at the pack ship? Oh, that's a miss. He was going to piss off 2 other captains with that shot. Now we're on to the heavy ship phase. Let's go ahead and do the Praetorian just to get all this out of the way. So the Dark Elf clan ship has a rule called the Fury Inhibitor. Enemy ships within 6 that activate with this ship in their rear facing get -2 to their boarding marker rolls. So it's going to need a 6. There's not a single 6. So 5 damage. It's going to finish off the missile banks. Then it's going to take out the profile gun and the vector cannon, leaving it just down to a rapid cannon and 2 damage left before it goes up in smoke. Now she's going to move only 2 inches and bust a 90-degree turn. Setting itself right there, it is going to blast its rapid cannon into that circle ship. So our big Praetorian with the rapid fire cannon has 3 shots at 12 inches with twin fire. So it could shoot at something else, but nothing else is in range. Firing at the little circle ship on a 4. And it completely misses. This is not good. Moving on to the Centurion ship. It's going to move forward, bust a 90 and take that objective. And it is going to fire its missile banks at the pack ship there, and then its Sunfinger at the clan ship. Its missile bank is going to be hitting on a 2, and it does. Saving on a 4. It saves. Sunfinger has 3 shots hitting on a 2. It does have the overheating rule, so it is going to blow out its own targeting array. Now it is strength of 1 with the deadly rule. Our big ship saves on a 3. Saves them both. So at the end of turn number 2, the Human Defense Force own 4 of the 5 objectives. The question is, can they survive until the end of the game? On to turn 3. Squadron phase, we have a Raider squadron moving up into the guts of that Legionary ship, putting on 2 boarding tokens, and this time it's going to fire its turret. 2 shots, firing into the back of the enemy ship because it's +1 to hit, meaning it's going to hit on a 2. 2 hits, saving on a 3. Oh, it takes 2. So that's going to take out its targeting array. First, we're going to activate our pack ship here using its wormhole door ability to put out another boarding token on that ship in the back. And then she's going to move, ending there, or actually ending, standing over top of that ship in the back. The Shadow Walker ability that ship has means that instead of taking damage, whenever you overlap, just put another boarding token. Next to activate will be the Volpez ship. Moving itself to there, it is going to fire everything it's got in that circle ship right up its butt. So first off, we're going to fire the Vector Cannon on a 4. Actually on a 3, because we are firing into its rear. That's a hit. Strength of 3, saving on a 6. Oh my god, it's saved. Then we have its arc generator. First time it's been in range to even use this thing. 4 shots, strength of 1, twin fire, and overheating. It's going to hit twice, but it's going to overheat itself twice as well. That will blow out its own vector cannon. And our circle ship saves on a 5. Saves 1. So it has 1 point remaining in its erosion missiles. No better time to use it than now. Overlapping the ship that has the objective, putting a boarding token on because it also has the Shadow Walker ability, and then it's going to fire its turret into the ship holding the objective and then its missiles into the ship in front of it. Again, this has blast. Things can get kind of dicey. Starting off with the erosion missile on a 3. That's going to hit. It hits the ship in front of it, the ship behind it, and the circle ship itself. So the ship in front of it only has 1 point left. It's fine. The circle ship only has 1 point left. It's fine. And the legionary ship in the middle has 5. Ooh, it's going to take 3, blowing out its targeting array and its telemetry banks. And then finally the turret, hitting on a 3. Whiff. Things on the other flank are just getting dicey. Let's go over here. We're going to move that Volpez ship, moving it to there, and then it's going to fire its arc generator at that ship in front of it. So the arc generator's got 4 shots. Hit with 1 of them. Wait, no, it's a medium ship. It hit with all 4. I've been activating them as a light. I forget these things. Saving on a 4, because it's toughness 3 and strength of 1. Ooh, it's going to take 2. We'll go ahead and take out the forked punishment. No better time than now to activate. Moving it past the Volpez ship is going to use its wormhole door on the Centurion ship because it was within 12 when it started. And now it's going to fire more boarding pods. Vortex hitting on a 2. It's going to have 4 more pods. Then it's going to fire its turret at the dude behind him. 2 shots, hitting on a 4. One of those are going to hit. It is strength of 1, saving on a 5. No. We've got our first human defense force casualty. Took all the way until turn number 3, but I have a feeling they're going to start ramping up. Speaking of, next to activate is that support ship. Let's see if we can get rid of its boarding pod tokens. Ooh, got rid of 1, but it only had 2 points of damage. So the little support ship just becomes more space wreck. Last light ship to activate is the circle ship that we got here. It's going to hold, but it is going to turn around. And now it's going to fire its turrets and erosion missiles into the Centurion. So first off, the turret on a 2. 2 hits. Saving on a 2. 2 saves. Then the erosion missile. That's a hit. The Centurion has 4 points of damage left remaining on it. It's fine. Next, we have the clan ship. It's going to use its wormhole door, fire its reality overlay at the Praetorian, and then its forked punishment over there at the Centurion. Might as well start off with the forked punishment first. 1 shot, strength of 3, overheating. It's going to hit, because you only need a 2 to hit the big ships. Saving on a 5. That is a fail. The Centurion ship is going to take a hit on its missile banks. Now for the reality overlay boarding pods. That's going to be another 5 boarding pods on the Praetorian. I keep forgetting to use the ship's turrets. So we got a turret of 24, 2 shots, strength 2 into the Centurion. On a 2, 2 hits. Saving on a 4. Ooh, it takes 2 more. Knocking out the missile banks, and the Sunfinger is down to 1. There's 1 damage on the whole ship remaining. Oh no. Something tells you that Praetorian's not very long for this world. Now it's time to untangle this mess over here. Starting with the ship closest to the table edge. The ship has 3 boarding markers and 1 point of damage left. We need 3 4-ups. Oh, so close. Bang. Now let's do the ship in the center. It has 1 boarding marker and 2 points of damage left. So it's not going to explode. And it gets rid of the marker. Putting itself there, it's going to fire at the squadron and the ship on the other side of its buddy. First firing at the squadron, hitting on a 4. No. Then at the pack ship, hitting on a 3. Ooh, there's 2 hits. Strength is 0, toughness 3. Oh, that's going to be it for the pack ship. But remember, that is a blast weapon. The squadron on a 4. It's fine somehow. And the other legionary ship on a 3. It's good. And then finally, its turret at the squadron. That's a miss. Now it's time for that 3rd ship. Boarding marker time. It gets rid of 3 of them, but it takes 1 point of damage, and we're going to put that into the telemetry banks. Now it's going to move, ending up just over the other side of the circle ship, and it uses telemetry banks that are still functional barely to turn its friendly ship 45 degrees. Now it's going to fire its turret at that circle ship. 1 shot. That's a hit. Saving on 4. Ooh. That will be it for that circle ship. Now it's big heavy ship time. We're going to start off with the Centurion. The Centurion has 5 boarding markers and only 1 point of damage left before it goes. There she goes. Kaboom. Next, there is the ill-fated Praetorian as well. We have the same equation. It's got 2 points of damage left to it, but it has 10 boarding markers. Yeah, the Dark Elves ripped that thing apart. Dropping the objective right there. So that is the end of round number 3. It is to the point where both fleets have to take morale tests on their ships. Let's go ahead and go through that. The way morale test works is at the end of any round, a fleet is down to half or less of its starting ships. Both of our fleets are down to half at least. The Human Defense Force more so, but the Elves are right at half. So for each ship, we have to roll a d6 and add the number of non-disabled upgrades the ship still has. And if it is a 6+, the morale test is passed. If it is failed, then the ship surrenders and is removed from play. Squadrons don't have to take a morale test, and only when all friendly ships are gone, that's when they have to. So we're going to start over here. Our legionary ship in the back only has 1 functioning system left, so it needs a 5. That's not a 5. The second legionary ship also only has 1 functioning system left, needs a 5. That's not a 5. This Volpez ship only has 1 system undamaged, needs a 5. That's not a 5. Our 1 remaining pack ship has 2 systems left, so it's going to need a 4. That's not a 4. The circle ship has 1 system remaining, needs a 5. That's a 5. Well, it's a 6, but better than enough. And then finally, our clan ship has 5 systems remaining, so yeah, it's good. So our circle ship is going to move to there, just not close enough to grab that objective. And then the clan ship moves forward and takes that one. So at the end of the game, we end up with a 1-0 Dark Elf Raiders victory. Now, the morale mechanic for Warfleets is pretty brutal, especially if you start putting damage on everybody, so that when you do trigger morale test, their rolls have to be really, really high. But that was fun! First game of Warfleets in a year. Things have changed up. I put some new fleets out there on the board. I expect to have more Warfleets on the channel in the future. So that'll do it for me today, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you check out the sponsors down below. If you want to get your hands on some starships of your own, check out PrintedStarships.com. Use the code warbossfitz down there for a 20% discount. There's also Corvus Terrain. Check them out for all of your terrain needs. And coincidentally, this video is coming out on the first day of Adepticon, or at least setup day of Adepticon. If you are at Adepticon, come find me. I am at the one-page rules tables. I'm going to be running demos, help running the tournament, throwing models to everybody, and just generally being a nuisance. Come on up, say hi, I'll shake your hand. Catch me towards the end of the day. We might go have a beer. So until next time, I hope you're having fun playing OPR wherever you are. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.